Ilia Topuria is finally set to appear on the Joe Rogan Experience. That's huge, but you know who probably isn't too happy about it? Conor McGregor. Yep, the notorious one has openly campaigned to get on the podcast for years and never got the call. Now his rival, Topuria, snags the spotlight instead. Ouch. On top of that, Khabib Nurmagomedov has finally addressed all the speculation surrounding Topuria potentially moving up to lightweight to challenge Islam Makhachev. And guess what? Topuria had a fiery response for the Eagle. But that's not all. Fight fans might finally get what they've been asking for, a long-anticipated showdown between Paddy Pimblett and Ilia Topuria. Some hardcore fans even argue that matchup is more exciting than Topuria versus Makhachev. Interestingly, Islam's coach, Javier Mendez, believes Paddy should be next in line for a title shot. And sadly, we close with some tragic news from the MMA world. UFC middleweight Marvin Vettori is mourning the loss of his younger brother, Patrick, who passed away at just 30 years old after a fire broke out in his apartment. There's a lot to cover, so let's get right into it. Paddy Pimblett, how many times have people counted him out? And yet, every time he's stepped in the cage, he's silenced the critics. He's currently riding an impressive 7-fight win streak, second only to Islam Makhachev in the lightweight division. Sure, there was that razor-thin decision over Jared Gordon, the somewhat awkward scrap with Tony Ferguson, and yes, many of his recent opponents weren't exactly in their prime. Still, you've got to give Paddy his due. He was told he'd never crack the top 15, he did. They said he wouldn't survive in the top 10. He's now ranked 8th after dominating Michael Chandler. That win showed serious growth. One more major victory, and he could be knocking on the door of a title shot. And you know what that means. The Paddy versus Topuria grudge match could finally be locked in. That's the fight fans are truly craving. The beef is real, the backstory is juicy, and both men want it. In fact, Topuria recently confirmed in an interview that he's open to the bout.
You want to fight him.
I want to fight him. Of course I want it. So hopefully he puts himself in the spot where we can share the octagon one day.
Oh yeah, we want that. I forgot to mention Ilia in the cage, to be honest. That's how irrelevant he is in my life. I forgot to even mention El Chorizo. Know what I mean? I didn't even think of him. I'm ranked higher than him at lightweight.
However, Islam Makhachev's coach, Javier Mendez, has stirred the pot by suggesting that Paddy Pimblett deserves the next shot at the title.
Do you think Paddy deserves a title shot, or he's not ready to face somebody like Islam?
Paddy's ready to face anybody. I mean, what he's done already, his credentials, his winning record in the UFC, and his hype, and what he can do, how he can motivate people. If they give him the next title shot, he deserves it, because they gave it to him. So whoever they give it to him, they give, and let's see who they give him to, who gets into the arena with him next. I don't know, but is he worthy? Yes.
And he's interesting, as you said.
Yes, he's very interesting, and he's got a whole England behind him, and a lot of America is going to be behind him. Most of America will be behind him.
Yeah.
He has a lot of fans, and I'm a fan. I wasn't a big fan at the beginning. I was not. When he fought Jared Gordon, I was like, but I've become a huge fan.
If I'm the UFC, I'm strategically going to match up Paddy to have success. You can do Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett. That's what I would do. You're like, Justin Gaethje? Listen, it's a tough day in the fucking office. But pick your poison. Out of Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, and Justin Gaethje, stylistically. I'm not saying Justin can't fucking knock his lights out. He can knock anybody out. He's one of the greatest to ever do it. But stylistically, Justin Gaethje matches up very poorly with Paddy Pimblett. Paddy can beat Justin. Paddy can beat Charles. Paddy can beat Dustin Poirier, but they're tougher fights. Stylistically, out of those three gentlemen, Justin Gaethje is the one you want if you're the Paddy camp.
Big news just hit the MMA world. Ilia Topuria is currently on set for an upcoming episode of the Joe Rogan Experience. That's right, not only is he scheduled, he's sitting down with Rogan right now, and the full interview is expected to drop as early as tomorrow. This marks a major milestone in Topuria's career. He's officially entered that upper echelon where Joe Rogan himself brings you onto his massively influential podcast. We all know Rogan doesn't invite just anyone. His guests next list includes the most iconic names across sport, entertainment, and culture. So for Ilia, this isn't just a chance to plug his next fight. It's a rare moment to introduce the world to the man behind the gloves. Honestly, it's a huge accomplishment. Remember, even superstars like Conor McGregor have never been on Rogan's podcast, despite fans constantly asking, where's the Conor episode? In fact, it's been rumored that Conor personally requested to appear but never got the nod, only to now watch his rival, Ilia Topuria, snag the invite. That's got to sting. Some fans believe the real reason Conor hasn't made it on might have something to do with his past back and forth with Rogan, who's been critical of him at times over the years. Regardless, Topuria getting the invite sends a clear message. He's arrived, and the UFC sees him as a serious contender on the verge of superstardom. Many believe this is part of a bigger push by the UFC to build Topuria into their next global attraction. One fan on X put it bluntly, Ilia Topuria's been making the rounds, major podcasts, now Joe Rogan. I swear he's trying to get inside Islam Makhachev's head. Rogan's going to boost him big time and make that Islam fight feel inevitable. It's like they're trying to mold him into the next Conor McGregor. And honestly, Rogan has that talent. He draws out the real person behind the fighter. This could be a turning point for fans who aren't sold on Topuria yet. So what do you think? Is the UFC laying the groundwork to turn Ilia Topuria into their next megastar? Drop your thoughts in the comments. According to Colby Covington, the UFC is already in motion behind the scenes, trying to set up that massive Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria showdown.
June.
End of June.
So like 2 months from now.
Okay.
So,
Who's main?
they haven't announced it, but I think it's going to be Makhachev and Topuria.
Oh, that's gonna be a crazy one.
It's going to be a sick fight.
That's gonna be.
They're talking about maybe putting the co-main as who's the co-main? I think the 85 title fight between DDP Dricus Duplessis versus Khamzat Chimaev.
That's a crazy card.
Khabib
Nurmagomedov recently addressed all the buzz surrounding Ilia Topuria potentially moving up to lightweight to challenge Islam Makhachev. And let's just say, he didn't hold back. While Khabib showed respect for Topuria's skills and rising profile, he was quick to explain why Islam isn't exactly rushing to accept that matchup. Despite the noise around Ilia, Khabib believes there's a tougher test already waiting in the wings, Arman Tsarukyan. In his eyes, a fight with Arman would present a much greater challenge for Islam than one against Topuria. No sugarcoating, no hype, just Khabib keeping it real.
Кто опаснее сейчас для Ислама Махачева, Арман Царукян или Илья Топурия?
Мое личное мнение, не то чтобы там опасен, скажем так, более конкурентен. Я думаю, что Царукян. Я думаю, Арман посерьезнее боец, чем Топурия. Топурия хороший боец в 66, а в 70 мы его не видели. Я считаю, что Арман более конкурентоспособный для Ислама, чем Топурия.
А вот то, что он перешел вес выше, я про Топурию, оставив пояс и сразу заявляет намерение подраться Исламу. Вот ты как это воспринимаешь? Многие его осуждают, что он так сразу хочет Ислама.
Не, смотрите, ребята, я не знаю просто, какие договоренности были у Топурии с UFC. Просто если смотреть со стороны Ислама, Ислам уже 2 раза давал шанс чемпиону в 66. Оба раза Ислам выиграл. Сейчас 3-й раз ему давать. Хорошо, представим, Топурия переходит, перешел и дерется сразу за пояс. Ислам его выиграл. Потом Топурия дерется еще один бой. Он еще раз проигрывает. То есть он вообще никем не был в 155, и Ислам выиграл человека, который никем не был в 155, в 70 килограмм. Из-за этого, как для наследия, для Ислама, для его резюме, я Ислама риски тоже понимаю. И из-за этого Ислам говорит, пусть подерется, пусть станет реальным претендентом, и Ислам будет драться с любым. Ислам же сказал, я буду драться с любым бойцом. И он даже дрался с чемпионом 66, летел к нему. Ислам в Австралию полетел, у него там на заднем дворе подрался. У него дома подрался. Из-за этого мы, как команда, мы считаем, что Топурия, он достойный боец. Но он чемпион, защитил пояс, выиграл очень серьезных ребят. Но эти все ребята, которые были в 66, даже тот же самый Холлоуэй, которого он выиграл, он перешел на 70, он ничего не сделал.
Ilia Topuria didn't stay quiet after Khabib's comments. He clapped back with a bold statement, saying, Khabib knows I'm the one who's going to take that belt from Islam. That's the real reason he doesn't want the fight to happen. It's clear there's tension brewing. Khabib might be genuinely frustrated with Topuria, especially after Ilia recently made headlines by claiming he's going to submit Makhachev right in front of Khabib himself. That comment definitely didn't sit well, and now the rivalry feels more personal than ever.
Take him close to Khabib. I will submit him closer to Khabib.
You'll submit him in front of Khabib?
Yeah. I'd take him. Khabib used to take people and he showed take them down and talk to Dana. I would do it to Khabib. Like, I will take him, bah.
And then talk to Khabib.
Talk to Khabib. Khabib.
Islam Makhachev или Topuria, Ilia?
Topuria or Islam Makhachev. Enfoque las áreas para ver. Topuria.
Tragic news has shaken the MMA community. UFC middleweight Marvin Vettori is mourning the heartbreaking loss of his younger brother, Patrick, who passed away at just 30 years old following a devastating apartment fire. Marvin took to Instagram to share a raw and emotional tribute, writing, "You were and always will be my number one. There's a hole in my heart that will never be filled. I'll love you until my final breath. I don't think I'll ever be the same without you." He continued, "You were always the wiser one, building a future for yourself. Now you're gone. They say the best souls are called home too early. I hope you're up there watching over us with that same warmth that made you so special. I love you, brother. Life won't be the same, but knowing I'll see you again one day brings me peace." Our deepest sympathies go out to Marvin and the entire Vettori family during this unimaginable time. Losing someone so young and full of potential is truly heartbreaking. Please take a moment to share your love and support in the comments below. Rest in peace, Patrick. In other MMA news, following UFC 314, Aljamain Sterling is now evaluating his next move and eyeing potential challengers.
My 3 top opponents that I would like to fight on my way to trying to eventually fight for a world title. So I would like to see Volkanovski versus Mosar. I think that matchup makes sense. I would love the opportunities for me to fight Diego Lopez next. And then I think maybe Pitbull, maybe he welcomes Aaron Pico to the UFC. And I think it's an opportunity for both these guys to show if they belong. Or, I mean, you can mix them up with somebody else. There's Lerone Murphy there, another undefeated prospect at the weight class. Yair is coming off a win over Pitbull. I can see Yair versus Lerone Murphy or Yair versus Diego Lopez. But then you have Brian Ortega, who's probably not looking to return maybe anytime soon, hopefully by the summer, just to keep the division moving. So those are matchups that interest me. I would either like to fight Diego Lopez or Brian Ortega. I think those are the most logical.
That's a wrap for today's update. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world to us.